Alright, I've been seeing a lot of people saying that this game's hard to beat or just asking how to beat it in general, so I figured I'd make this video to show you guys how to actually beat this game. What weapons to use, what weapons to probably avoid using. Obviously, don't use this shit, but yeah, there's two ways to go about beating this game. Either you can play it completely normally, like the average person, or you can be a coward and turn your game's damage to player completely down. Don't do that. If you do that, you're a coward and you're weak. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the actual game. Weapons you're going to want to use. So I'll just go by what weapons we find in the actual continuation as demonstration for a legitimate thing, since it's going to be more realistic in this way anyway. So say you start out with Larasara, which is the wooden axe. It's okay, but not bad. If you fight people, you're going to want to try to get behind them most of the time because how it cuts is it cuts from the very bottom of the bill first. The rest of it ends up just being kind of blunt. So if you hit from the very tip or the bottom, it counts as a cut. Otherwise, it's more of just a blunt impact. Replace it as soon as possible. Shoes, not really useful. Hand axe. So this hand axe here in particular does not chop well. It does not chop well at all. It is the worst axe in the game besides the really stubby one. You're going to want to get this replaced as quick as possible, but it's not all that bad if you get the upper chest or neck. How to fight a little bit better in this thing, since a lot of people seem to kind of rely on this majority of the time. Like, I guess doing the windmill works, but it's not going to help you a whole lot. Hats, completely cosmetic, don't help unless they're helmet. So say the guy has a large weapon. Block in the direction they're going while backing up, and they won't be able to hurt you. And when there's an opening, go for the head. It's always best with these weapons, like say you're on the left side of them, block the same direction and try to direct the weapon downwards so you can do a nice swipe up. But as I did there, this is typically going to be kind of flunky on the left side. He has to rotate his hand. So try going above their head and then cutting. So kind of like a quick old hit right there. To change weapon sides, like say you want the X in your left hand instead, push X, swaps hand size, or side, pardon. The absolute best weapon to get in this game is the scythe if you're from beginner to mid. After that, you're going to probably want to replace it. These weapons here are also good, but note how I got cut there. They can still cut your fingers, so make sure you block with the upper part of your weapons. And since this is a lower level guy, you can kind of block and then quickly cut to your sling. Higher up people will counter that a little bit better. Especially a lot of people are running around doing this, just like spears, just trying to rush people. Bosses will knock that out of the way, like quick swipe, and then cut you. So you're going to want to watch out for that. They start doing that up to the second boss. The guy uses the rapier, or the e-stock. But majoritively, you can kind of just steamroll the people on the beginning. They're not too hard. Obviously, they're not designed to be. It's the beginning. Chests, best way to open it is how I did right there. Literally just sidewards motion. Pretend you're playing getting over it and you're trying to force your way up the mountain. Best way to do it. All right, now, if you ever get the pick here, this here, it is useless. I don't actually recommend it. It doesn't do much blunt damage and it does terrible cutting. Only jabs kind of seem to cut with it. Not good. Don't use it unless you have no choice, but I would honestly pick the light over that. That's how bad it is. Shields. Shield people majoritively go for that. They go for blunt. They'll bull rush you. So just keep blocking the left side of their hands. Let's see, whatever side the weapon's on, just keep your hands angled on that side, and they won't be able to hit you. Shield doesn't really do much, so don't worry about that. Now, when you get up to the higher ranks and they got bigger shields, you're going to have to worry about that a little bit because they can just boop you with it and your ass is dead. If you want to sheath the weapon instead of dropping it, just hold down whatever button hand you have it in. So say I wanted to sheath my right hand, I would hold E, and vice versa for the other weapon, I would push Q to get them back out, do the same thing, just hold it down, and he'll pop it right back out. So if you just tap it, he'll drop the weapon, so careful about that. There is an inventory. That's lock on, by the way, that dots. Now, these weapons are more dangerous because you see they will indeed, yeah, do that and hit you. So, trying to show this off while fighting is kind of annoying. A little faster, but if you do what I did there, that's the best way to deal with it. As soon as they say swing upwards like this, do a quick jab like that, like a half swing. because it's going to quickly snap their neck, or at least do a clean cut instead of doing a full throw one, and then you're vulnerable. So block and then quick slap, block, quick slap, both sides. Do not parry the scythe. You're absolutely maniac if you try to parry the scythe. I've done it before with the spears, but since it's curved like a moon, crescent moon, it will wrap around and take your fingers off. How to beat this guy easily is he's always going to swipe. There you go, he's dead. He does two quick ones, and then he kind of stays like this. Just dodge the first one or second one, and then immediately go for the gut. He wears a helmet, a level 1 helmet. You can get into his face, a little bit difficult at times, but his gut is a level 1 armor. It's shit. So if you do a curve upwards, then it'll hook into his rib cage and pull out, which instantly gets him and instantly takes him out. I guess I might as well take his weapon. So if you're using two small weapons and you kill him, you can take his scythe and carry it around with you. Don't ever carry a whole bunch of heavy weapons on your sides, like say a bunch of shields and stuff, because you do have a weight system and your guy will start like flopping around on his own, trying to sustain the weight. The scythe. So his light attack with the scythe, it's good for headshots. They go like this, and they're good for legs. The heavies go to the lower gut, and they typically penetrate into the hips. So that's why you see some people get cut in half with this, because when it goes up, the tip of the blade goes into their hip, and as it goes up further, it burrows out the back of their typically left ass cheek. So when you rip, it just registers it as a quarter body shot. So you can rip them too. Because I can show you. Oh, sometimes you will get stuck on the ground though, so be careful about that. You can block with it very weirdly, and then go for the neck. If you block like that, you got to be careful, because even though it does work, like holding how I do that is you hold heavy, like say you do a light swing, hold heavy, and he'll be blocking life with one hand for a second, and then you can curve block and loop your weapon around to the next. This is the best weapon to use for this rank, because you can just steamroll everybody. So, axes. So yeah, you can quickly just stab the neck, pull it out. Same thing, go over here, stab the neck, pull it out. How to do that consistently is hold it to where your guy, you see how my guy puts it down for a split second, how it's farther down? As soon as he does that, swing up. He'll do like a nice curved swing with it, which can help. If you just hold it and then do it, it's going to be a mid-body shot, which is how you take people now. But doing it has a chance to do that, which the quick way to reset it is to throw a light. So say you do that, rips one half, and then do a light. We'll wrap his hand right back around, put you back into the attack zone. So again, that light puts him back. It prevents him from doing this and one-handing it for a second, which he likes to do. See how I lose traction? If you do that, just swing it, light, curve it around, fall right back into him. It's really simple once you get a hang of it. Now, this is getting close. When you see this little pumpkin, you're going to want to get a little worried or a little more cautious, because he shows up right before the boss. I think I've never killed someone with a non-sharp side of the weapon before, so that was really interesting. If you don't have the axe, or say you're doing what I'm doing, you have these little hand axes, drop your weapon for a second and replace one of them with this. That is the, that is the upgrade. And this weapon cuts into plate very slightly, a very weak plate. So that can cut level 1 armor. The cloth I'm using right here I call level 0 armor, because it defends, but it's basically irrelevant. The helmet I'm wearing now would be like level 1. Level 2 is when it covers more and it's just bulkier. So here's the Ray Pierced. Pretty soon, get away. He'll come from this direction. Come on, where are you? I know I've killed enough people. No? Alright, spears. So spears, you're going to want to just do quick jabs. Try to steamroll them. Like, say they're doing this, just steamroll them with your heavy and do that. That way, if they move their hand down, you'll cut their hand off at least. Doing lights will get you killed more majority of the time, because it doesn't counter those. This guy, just do a heavy. He goes for stabs. So stabs are heavies, and swings are lights for the scythe. So say these guys here, you would do lights sometimes to keep them back. And then, oh shoot, and then you rotate into a heavy. Takes their legs out pretty consistently. So again, if two people are charging you, do a light, it'll curve downwards. like this, so you can scoop the legs of multiple players or enemies while walking to the side, and it'll rip the legs right off. And if they're just one-on-one, wrap it into a heavy, since it's going to be angled like that anyway. You can quickly go into a heavy, take out the next leg. Okay, helmets. This here, for example, I don't know if there's a guy coming. If you see this helmet, replace it immediately with that, because what I call the slime drop helmets there are good, but they don't protect the back of your neck like this one. So say someone swings an axe, instead of it hooking the back of your neck, it'll just deflect off of this. Oh, see, there's an example right there. You see how it curved into my arm? If I didn't have this helmet on, it would have just burrowed through my neck. So you gotta be very careful and cautious. If you cut someone's leg off, they are dead. But sometimes if you continue forth and a guy's like laying on the ground, and you're wondering like, why is he laying on the ground? It's because it's an enemy you knock down but didn't kill, so it just resets them, and you won't be able to continue on until you kill him. Okay, this guy's using that little butcher knife, just like I said, do heavies. Heavies are the majority of the thing you want to do, because they just one tap like this, but you're going to want to replace this scythe pretty soon. Let's take the armor. This armor plate here is great, but spears are its weakness. It will burrow through the side of your armor and take you out. Okay, there's his hand. The goal is to just take them out as fast as possible and make sure it's a clean one hit, because they will get to the point where there are 3 people at once, and you're going to want to make sure you can just immediately switch to the next enemy. I recommend practicing this a while. When you see a treasure chest, you don't expect a lot, but you can always just walk to knock it over. It's a safe look at what's in there instead of spending your time doing this. Now they're getting into the actual armor, but their bodies are still exposed. So heavy hooks are still a thing. There's your weakness. So like I said, lights, take off the hands, and then they're dead. So lights for if they're stabbing like this, do a light. If they're not, do a heavy. Or if you're really accurate, I've seen some people that can just throw hatchets at people and kill them. I can't do that, but if you can, by all means do it. But yeah, that's about it for the scythe. You can just practice it a little bit and go through. It pretty much ends them in one shot because it's penetrating like livers and lungs. So you're pretty much going to dominate them. You can go through the whole game like this, but it makes it kind of difficult, especially when you get up to the heavy armor. It doesn't cut through plate worth a damn. So yeah, as of right now, it works, but oh, see, that's why you do the light. It blocks a lot of it. And then just hook it across. Come on. Come on. There we go. That can knock him down, and then you just scoop him. Surprised this isn't. There it is. Let's say how many times I wrapped around his neck. I'm surprised it isn't like wearing it down. Now I went through this game entirely with the spear once. It's really good, especially lights on it. But most people like this weapon here, and I'm going to show you the best thing to replace it with, which is coming up pretty soon. You just have to kill. Here's this guy. Get you out of here. Okay, he dropped his weapon, so he's no longer going to be a player. The next boss is going to be the guys with 3 axes. They are kind of a pain. They're kind of a stopping block for a lot of players, I've noticed. Okay, there's this guy. The guy I find the most annoying out of all the bosses is Multi-Sword Dude, because he can actually hurt you without touching you, because he has so many blades sticking out of his butt that if you actually walk by it, it can lacerate your legs. So you have to be very cautious about that. That's a woodcutter's axe. Now that axe looks like it's really nice because it's high up in the game. It's not. Don't use it. I would barely recommend it in the lower levels. Now, if your weapon ever gets stuck, like how I'm doing right now, just drop it and go get it really fast, because it likes to do that. Sometimes he's fickle about it, though. There we go. Just be careful. The scythe is kind of buggy. I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't got leggings by now. Okay, yeah, here's him. So how to beat him? Same thing. Heavy. And then these guys. Oh, shit. If your weapon doesn't get stuck like that, you can do lights and then another heavy. Heavies kind of dominate them. So yeah, you want to do it a little bit cleaner than that, but you get the idea. Heavy the first guy, and then when the other guy comes around, do a light to scoop him. And if it doesn't get stuck in the ground, then you can really go into a heavy. It's the same protocol as you did for the guy with the E-stock. As for him, those are dual swords. Dual sword people are your bane now. You'll figure out why if you get this far up. They can indeed and will kill you really fast. But this is what I mean by armor is bad. I have to hook him into the elbow, which isn't great. So the weapon you're going to want to start replacing these with is this right here. His axe. Its lights are not that great, but its heavies are great. So now you're going to be using this axe here. This axe here in particular is a little huntsman's axe. It is actually pretty damn good, especially with wrists. But if you don't like axes, you can use the sword. Either one works. I just personally prefer the axe. And so there's a very specific sword that is wonderful, but you just can't deny how good this axe is with its hits. Like, even though it's not cutting anything off, it is still beating the shit out of them, which is still more than enough to kill them. And there you go, it's off. So that's why I said this is the replacement for the scythe, because the scythe can be really annoying to hit people with at this rank. This thing here is not at all. If you find, say, a greatsword, like there's claymores, use that. That one's good. But I'll go through them as I see them. Weapons to kind of avoid and don't use. The maces and stuff you're seeing you can use, but mostly they're going to be headshots. They're going to be used to break the enemy's neck. These guys here are no longer a problem. Oh shit, my mouse is stuck. Hold up. This isn't fair. Alright, go to sleep. That is mostly just a replacement for that. Now you do need to get these because as you take damage, you'll see that you become more like a skeleton. And, oh shoot. As you become more like a skeleton, the weaker you are. So you want to get as much armor to cover your skeletal parts as possible. Be quiet. There we go. So that should be everybody. There we have it. I don't really know. I've never actually tried. Now, some people do these. I guess I could show you. So say you see this weapon here. I've seen some people that dual wield them because it's about the same length as your axe, right? So you can swing them pretty quickly because they are a lighter weapon. So I guess I can show you some gameplay on how to use those if you like dual wield at this level. But yeah, I do recommend using, say, a blade over it. Oh shit. I probably should deal with you first. I didn't think you would spawn so quickly. But that is why a lot of people like to use these little hammer with the axe, because one cuts, the other one knocks over. I personally don't, because as you see, it kind of flops around on people, and I don't like floppiness. No one likes floppiness, so I usually ditch it for that. And there's finally some pants, so let's actually get that done. Because this, 2 chops. So either way, one's hitting your arm, the other one's removing it. There we have it. See what I mean? And you can actually sheath the sword, so you know. So I can take that, and I can take my sword back out, but note that it does get stuck, so you have to hit. That's an axe. I think. I didn't get a good look what that he was using. Another dude's higher up. Just back up, swing. There you go. Now, dual wielding this axe, it's more of a leg hitter because it's going to fall down because it's heavier. So while you're swinging, one's going to target the legs, one's going to target what you're actually aiming at. It's actually really nice. Let's go forward. Another spear guy, how to deal with that with 2 weapons is, like I said, just block to the side and then swing. They will not really hit that much. They kind of stand stare at you because they're waiting for you to do something, but they have a long weapon, so they can't really, you know, deal with it. Alright, so here's that guy I said's annoying. He's easy to beat, though. Again, he's gonna buy it by himself, so just wait him out, he'll charge, swing, and target the same arm. If you keep targeting the same arm, it'll force him to go limp, which you can then start working on the other one. And as soon as that happens, just back him into this, beat the shit out of him a little bit. He'll lose all of his swords eventually. And you can kind of just go to town on him. There we are. Just wasn't reaching in time. Now, I so much recommend you guys taking this guy's sword. I don't know if any of you have ever used his sword or not, but they are fucking great. They are extremely sharp, which you might know if you fought him, he'll chop you to ribbons in like 0.2 seconds. But not too bad. Take his swords. They're the next weapon you're going to want to use. They will go through armor, and they go through non-armor, obviously. So plate is no longer your weakness. I don't know. Oh, shit. There we go. That's one. And go for the next, obviously. It's going to be 3 people now, so watch out for that, like I mentioned prior. Take out the hands, and then take out the rest of the arm. I think that's the arm plates I currently have, so I'm just going to move on. Now, when fighting at this high of a level, you're going to want to keep your guard somewhat in the middle now, instead of to the side. Because spear people are going to be here, but it's mostly going to be these. So keep it in the middle, so you can see where they're going to attack. Block it, cut. Okay, now they're going to use long hammers. You can't really block these, so you can somewhat, but that's typically what happens. They'll just loop back around and hit you in the face. Be very careful. But if you do good like that, you can counter, like do a circular motion, it'll throw it out of their hands, and you can kill them. And typically doing this cuts off their hands anyway. So, you know, do as you want to do, but that's my recommendation. Hand hatchets, no different than usual. Just move, cut. If you can, take a leg to make sure they're down. As moving forward, you're going to want to take this. And third guy, make sure, watch, back up, block, cut. Now, you're not going to be targeting the head as much. You're going to be targeting the wrists. Because people's heads are really armored now, and the throat's kind of difficult to cut out of time. So just go for the wrists, since very few people are wearing plate wrist armor. Okay, that's what I'm going to need. Shite. There we go, that takes your weapon away. Now, if you take their weapon away, they're kind of fucked because they can't hold a balance with those shields. Those shields screw you over. If you put them on, like on your back, and you fall over, you will go to Glitch Town. So be very, very careful. His sword he has on his side there is actually very good. It's like Aragorn type sword. It's very nice. Obviously, always take your armor. It's a no-brainer. I don't really know if that's the same arm plates or not. It is. Now, if you find the same arm plates, you might be like, I don't need to replace it. You do. If it gets bloodier and bloodier, then there's a higher chance people might actually cut through it. I've had that happen before. Block, cut. Again, block, cut. It's like the saying, measure once, cut twice. In this occasion, it's block once, cut twice. Larger weapon. So if you see them do the fencing stance, which is, okay. The fencing stance is when they're holding their weapon with 2 hands, and they're kind of like attacking like a you know, buttering a bread kind of motion. Then you're going to just want to stay a little farther back and just block the very end of the weapon, since it's going to be too stubby to really hurt you. There you go. He's out of the question. Continue forth. Now, if you actually skip a few enemies, they will follow from behind. So make sure you did kill everybody before you carry on. Okay, there's the next guy. Here's the legs. You will kind of get acquainted to how to fight pretty quickly in these ranks. Okay, dual wielders are a problem. There's his hands. There it is. So dual wielders there. They attack like this, like in the center, and kind of do that with one hand. So just block the center, move it very slightly back and forth, we'll parry it, and then rotate it downwards in whatever the opposite angle is they're moving. They'll turn their hands to bones in a split second. There's the same sword in case you missed it. They're rare though, so make sure you just take both of his. You can take weapons off their side of their body, so say you killed someone like their knife on the side of their belt, you can grab that. It's just kind of difficult sometimes. Okay. Okay, there's your hand. Shields, as soon as you go behind them, it instantly cuts their hand off 9 out of 10 times. Okay, that arm's almost off. There we go. Don't really worry. Like I said, if you cut something off, like say his foot's almost off, just leave them. It counts as a bleed out because they can't get up anymore. So by the time you leave them there, they'll be dead. The game just despawns it. If you wanted to know how I'm taking their swords away so quickly, so say someone's swinging like this, do it the opposite upward angle. It cuts their finger, which makes them drop it. So let's continue forth. Okay, now we're up to this guy. So this guy here is dangerous as hell, because they all attack at the same time. Just take the minion out, smack him a few times, target at the minions, take out them as fast as possible. Come on. Side cuts. Okay, there's the hand. Okay, he's dead. Block that. Come on. Yeah, there's the neck. Now the big boy. So he's a pain in the ass. He has so much armor that he will take you out so fast. So you have to attack what's not armored. Shit. What's not armored is his feet, by the way. Fuck. And sometimes the side of his face. So... Nope, don't fall. Don't fall. I want that weapon right there. And pick it up. Shit. Okay, now we're back in action. Take a blunt weapon for him. I forgot to take a blunt weapon with me. There we go. That's exactly why right there. As soon as you knock him down, take the sword. Forgot it doesn't become a village idiot. There we go. He will pull out a giant ass hammer. Not hard to break him as soon as you get this sword. Just knock him down. Target the head. You can kind of go to town and saw it at him. As soon as you do this, it will wear the armor down. Come on. Take the legs out. And go for what's not armored. His feet. There it is. Hear it? And as for the shields, people always like to take, you're going to need one at the end of the game. You'll see why in a minute. Don't take him before you fight him. You can if you want, but after you fight him, take these ones. These ones here, to me, just seem better. Okay, take the upgraded helmet. But did you see what I meant by being weighed down when I had those weapons on me? My guy kind of almost fell over. Be very careful. Okay, now they're up to where everyone is wearing extreme armor. And there's multiples. That's why I said take one. Because they can and will come after you from the back. There's the neck. Now you're targeting the necks. The big sword makes it incredibly easy to hit them. See, there's the neck. Double stance to the big guys, charge them, knocks them down. And there you go. Your first 3 big guys dead. There's the dress I was talking about, that's like better. Now my butt cheeks are protected. Okay. Now as for those weapons, they were good before the last boss, but they're not great now. Okay, there you go. The tactics for wrists still apply to people like him. Okay. Knock that out of the way. And got him. There we go. Block that. Go to guts. Now, I will say, big shields when they hit you, that's a GG for them, because you can go under it and swipe right into their intestine. And they're dead. Like I said, you can do all of this like I'm doing really easily, and probably even better and faster with some practice. But it can be annoying. That's the moment I'd say leave them alone, because it can and will suck you into a glitch world. And it's very annoying to get out of. There we go. His neck slit. Now you're going to be coming across a lot of fancy weapons. Both these are really good. Don't use the hammer that often, though, because it does have a small hitbox. Which you saw the hammerhead is small. Helmets like I'm wearing, like how you saw I just killed him, they block your upper face, but your neck is more exposed, which means one good swipe, and you're dead. Wrists, still weak. There's that fencing stance I was talking about. Just charge them. Aim for the neck. There you go. GG. You win. Okay, upward slash. He actually blocked that pretty well. Fencing stance. Go for the neck. There we go. Takes him down. Block. And cut. Block once, cut twice. There's his neck. There we go. I think I cut. Yeah, okay, his neck got cut. Very hard to cut some of these people's helmet because they're wearing like a gothic jousting helmets like that. And it's very annoying. But their stomachs, as you... Where'd my fucking sword go? Oh, there it is. Nope. There it is. Sometimes my gutting's a little too good. So, yeah, they can take it out if they get stuck, so be careful about that. I forgot to mention that. Okay, my helmet just went flying because it decided to take the sword, the stool instead. But the next boss is a giant knight. As you can see. See how powerful he is. You see how horrific the last boss is? Like, he's the most dangerous yet, right? Now that you've beaten it, you can continue forth. By the way, just so you guys know, this guy here, the first time I ever fought him, he was a heavy knight that wasn't wearing pants. So he can either spawn as a really big knight or that little shit. So yeah, the last boss is a joke. Now that you've continued forward, it's literally just endless. So I have no real reason to keep going. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you'd like to see more, comment down below. See you in the next one. This is the end score. I probably died.